Hello guys, welcome back. Your friend to play here, and I think it's time for releasing the Pi4 PlayBox base, the vanilla base that I created after a kind request for some of you, and I will release first to my supporters, and then soon after will be for the public, so you can use it. The reason I call it vanilla Pi4 PlayBox vanilla is vanilla because basically it has the latest 4.6.1 RetroPie. It doesn't have the PlayBox version 2 that I'm working on with all these extra customizations and emulators, configs, all this extra stuff, new scripts, but I'm gonna give you some taste and I have some stuff that will be on the version 2, and I just want to give you a little bit more complete experience with this new base. This is my latest base. This is based on a CleanOS Buster, the latest one available, and I updated the full distro today. So you have all the packages being updated. You have the today's latest RetroPie 4.6.1 and you have the latest Redream. You have the last couple of days I updated and created a couple of new scripts on the Toolkit. So you have an updated PlayBox Toolkit. You have I would call this Toolkit, and I guess PlayBox version, if you want to call it, the pre-release PlayBox version 2. So it's not a release candidate. It's just a fully working base that you can use. It has all the core packages, the main packages installed, and couple requests that I have also installed for Rick Dangerous custom PlayBox base, vanilla base. So I will have, as I said, a few experimental and a few optional. So let's get started. I wanted you to see what is the new PlayBox toolkit and what I have on this custom, partially custom carbon theme. So let's set up my keyboard. Okay, so here we are, and on this base I have apart of this vanilla, no free configuration, no this extras, I have only few, or I would say couple things that you might want. So we have Kodi enabled. I have the Raspbian desktop system that you can connect to the desktop directly from here. So let's start it up so you can see. So there we are. We have the desktop. I have Gparted already installed, and I just want to let you know that this base has the what you've been used so far. So it has the username is Pi and the password is PlayBox with P and B capitals, and the host name is PlayBox. So no PlayBox 4 or something like that. It's just plain PlayBox, and this is what I'm planning to use so I can have the uniformity. I used the PlayBox 4 as a host name because I was working both on the PlayBox version 2 and 4 at the same time, but now I think it's time to make everything uniform, and I updated my packages for WinSCP, FlashFXP and PuTTY on my Discord channel server, so you can get these updated tools with all these connections as Pi and as you. And I'm gonna go out, so we just go sat down and we'll just click on exit to command line, and we'll go back to the ES. So we'll go back and we have RetroPie that has the new menu too. Now we have the power options, so we have system start, restart, and system shutdown. As you can hear, there's no music on the background. I haven't enabled the BGM. You can enable it. There's no track mode installed. I haven't tested this on Pi4 yet, but you have the option in the RetroPie, and you're gonna see that you can install it and see how it goes and how you're gonna switch to it. So we have the Amiga, so it has the latest Amiberry 3.1.4 beta. B is for beta, you're gonna see. I compiled this from source, and here we are, 3.1.4, which is the source from 2nd of May 2020. I have updated the paths for you and the XML. So we go to quit. And additionally, Amiberry, that's one of the tweaks I have. It has the WH2Load logo disabled and the delay of 2 seconds also delayed, so you can have a faster boot of the games. Now we have Dreamcast. That's one of the things I want to show you. I have installed the latest Recast and the latest Redream. So now what you're gonna see here, and you haven't seen in other image out there, is that I enabled, so you can start Redream and configure it from here. So I'm gonna start it from here. We can have a look. So we go to exit. And we go back and we continue to MS-DOS. I have installed this DOS box and DOS box SDL2. Now we have the PlayStation Portable. That's another thing that you haven't seen probably in another system or base. So I have enabled for PSP Go, the minis, or the PlayStation. If you want to configure your PPSPP standalone emulator, you can go in here and you have that start PPSPP. So we're going to start it here again. As you can see, it's vanilla. I have not enabled my video logos and stuff like that. I have on version 2. I have a new video actually for you guys. So we're going to see that on version 2. So we're going to go here and we're going to go to exit. So that's PPSP, the same thing here. You can see we have the PlayStation, same thing here. And when you want to hide this, I accidentally started it again. So when you want to hide this, if you don't want it, as I have on my release notes, you just go to the ROMs directory and you just add a .off capital OWF extension to the SH file, and it will hide that, so it won't appear in there anymore. And now if you want to hide the whole system, you do the same thing to the ROM folder by just putting a .off extension with capital letters. And the reason I want you to do this is because when I'm going to release the new scripts and the PlayBox version 2, I want to have a compatibility and uniformity because of that. So I'm using this on a couple scripts that are not present on this base, but it will be on version 2. And by doing this, you don't have to delete things, you just hide this nice and easily. So we go back and we have the residual VM, we have the ScummVM, which is version 2.1.1. and what I've done for you guys, and for those that you like the MT32 games that they support, so if you go to options and we go to MT32, you're going to see we have MT32 emulator, and if you go to MIDI, we have a sound font enabled. So now you can use for games that support NT32 directly there. I've seen some emulators they just dump the supporting the needed BIOS in each game. You don't have to do that. Once you enable here, it just applies to the whole system. So, and if you want to verify this, 8-bit guy had created I think last year a very nice video how to do this, but this is preset for you, so it's here. So we go here and we go back and we continue. That's Kodi. We started Raspbian. I'm going to start Kodi so you can see Kodi too. Kodi is the 18.6 latest version, and actually it's compiled from GitHub just a few days ago. And I have the exact version in the just to show you the version. It will be in the notes anyway. So we go to, you can see in the bottom, Kodi 18.6 2020-0506. So that's about 7 days ago. So we go back. I have, by the way, for those who are wondering, I have the Pi4 2 gig version with a dual fan from the Pi3B Plus, which fits perfectly on the Pi4. So we go here and we'll go exit, and we'll go back to the ES. So we'll go back and we go to RetroPie. Now let's see the new things we have in the menu. So we'll have the usual 4 folders: emulation tools, retro network tools, system tools, and visual and theme tools. We have the music on and off, which is just a mute when you have your BGM enabled. We have the raspi-config, the official one. It says expand your SD card, blah blah blah. And now this is the new thing. I have enabled on this base, and on version 2 you have 2 custom raspi-config binaries that expand your USB. The same thing, the same way that is being done for the SD card. So by running this, you have, for this base is the Pi4. So I'm going to run it for you. And you see the difference is that the title says to play Raspberry Pi software configuration tool. And if I go to the advanced options, you're going to see that have the A1 option. It says expand USB file system, and ensures that all of the SD card storage is available on the OS. Okay, this is something I just noticed now. I have to correct this, so you can say of the USB MSD, mass storage device. So that's something we're gonna fix before release. So I'm gonna go back and finish. So we're gonna go back to the menu. So this way you can expand another way apart the G-parted, which is on the desktop, another card, or the existing USB partition. So we go to RetroPie Setup, and I'm going to go in so you can see that we're on the 4.6.1. It's a RP4 running on Raspbian 10 Buster. It's 20 hours ago. I'm going to run the setup script update again, just to see if there's anything new. And it's the same thing. So this is what you're going to have with the release. And as I said, I'm planning to release maybe today or tomorrow for my supporters, a group, and for the public, I think by the end of the week. So we have the system info and weather by 2play. This is the full info screen that you see usually when you connect with PuTTY, but this one has also the public IP address. You can see your public IP address, and I just narrowed down the weather to 4 major cities around the world, so you don't have to wait for too long. Now we have the PlayBox toolkit and switch to attract mode, which is this is going to work when you have the attract mode installed. So let's go first to the emulation tools. So we have, I re-enabled the Amiga tools. This is the UA config maker by Horace and Spider. This is when you have in the Amiga data folder, as you can see, some not UEFI, like normal ADF files. This will create for you the UAE as per this tool that our friend Horace and Spider created. So we have configuration address before, the ES collection list generated by David Marty, and some quick edits from me. Anything that you don't know what it does, you can read the description on the right side. We'll have the ES Pathfinder custom collections by CyberGhost. We have the light gun aim track config by EasyHacks. I haven't installed that. Light gun aim track install. This is requires advanced MAME, which I know it's not compatible with Pi4, so I think I could have probably skipped that. Anyway, I have it for you. RetroArch netplay. We have the save single folder created by our friend RPC, and I know this is being used by the virtual man on his PlayBox releases. Now we have the new Zinmo and Dual dual script. So basically, if you're using a Zinmo controller, a Dual dual arcade controller, you can enable that and disable that as you wish from that new script. This is a new script. It doesn't use extra scripts. It just actually applies whatever is needed in the cmdline.txt. So we have the controller selection script by Meleo. We have the install or update attract mode and hardware video encoding. So basically, if you run this, you can test if Pi4 can have the attract mode. It will install the latest attract mode from the GitHub and all these extra things, so you can test it, and then you can go to the main menu and swap and see how it goes. RetroArch, I want to show you something which is just exclusive to this image. This is my new style, and there you are. This is the Argui RetroArch. We have 1.8.6. We have the signature color by to play by me, which is my red color, and we have all the rest as is. I have enabled quite a few things on the interface. So if we go to, you have the online updaters, you have core updater, all these nice things here enabled for you. So I'm gonna go and quit RetroArch, and we'll go back. We'll go to network tools, the normal Bluetooth, what is my IP and Wi-Fi. We'll have the system tools, we'll have the USB modes. It has the new latest USB ROMs on off EasyHacks to play script. The original code is by our friend Forrest, aka EasyHacks, and I have some visual I guess tweaks and updates when you have the BGM enabled to do some things that he uses from his script with BGM. A lot of nice stuff, and new and updated Samba shares, including the Samba shares that I have on PlayBox, that we used since PlayBox version 1. It has a fixed also script required and applied by this script, and it won't mess up going to the desktop after it's being changed, because as you noticed in the initial releases with RetroPie and Buster, when we still in the development phases a couple of months ago that we tested, you could when you started the desktop from CLi, they would freeze, not the desktop, but it would call and start the ES on top of the desktop, and the ES would freeze, so you couldn't go and you had to kill it. So now this is all fixed. this is cleaned officially by the Buster and RetroPie, so you don't have to do this. But because the script was applying something older, because it was originally created on Pi4, now this is fixed, so it won't mess up that file, and can be used on Pi4 too fine. We have the usual audio settings, the background music setup. You can install your background music from here. Now we have the file manager, the usual reference utility, run command settings, overclock, the new overclock Pi4 optimized. So the reset all controllers, so visual and themes. We have the bezel custom sets that was originally created by David Marty. Now we have the bezel project script update PlayBox 2P. What it does, basically, what it will update your bezel project. I know it's also available within the bezel project script, which is this one, but this one actually will update, but it will just put it in here, so you won't have to run, if you updated the needed option 1 from the toolkit to update and fix your RetroPie menu. So basically, if you update the bezel project from here and the hairsty themes from here, it will create some extra the scripts within the root of the RetroPie menu, and you don't want this because it will just create the old style that everything is all dumped in one on the main folder, the root of the RetroPie menu. So if you want to have my setup with the folders and subfolders, so you just if you update, as I said, from here and from here, then you have to run from the CLi option 1 to fix your RetroPie menu setup. So we go to media removal utility by David Martin 2P. This is the MP4 launching screens by 2P. This is you can enable, disable. I don't have a video, as you said, you can do your own if you want. So we have the overscan on off. Actually, I might even remove the MP4. I don't know if you guys are going to use this. Some of you use the launching screens, so I might remove that. I'll see, or maybe I leave it, doesn't really matter. So we have the splash screens, the one that you saw now, and we have the Skyscraper script that I created before. It is actually integrated on the RetroPie. You can update your Skyscraper from here and exit and run it. It has 4 options, so you know you want to create it on a clean system and PlayBox and stuff like that. So this is updated to the latest Skyscraper, and I noticed in the notes that now you can it includes video conversion. So we go back, and that's it. As I said, we have a new PlayBox toolkit I'm going to go through now, and we have all this new stuff that I want you to see where you get them and know that my work is here. So let's go to PlayBox toolkit so you can see what are the new stuff we have. So we have down to 24 options. So it's dated 12th of May. So we have the fixed PlayBox custom RetroPie. You run it from here, from the you exit. When you see this only from CLi, you just exit with F4 to the CLi and you run the toolkit from there, these options. So this one to fix in case you messed up your RetroPie menu, or if you updated, as I said, the hairsty themes or the bezel project from within their scripts. So you can run this and fix the order that everything's supposed to be on PlayBox. Now we have the new regions script, and it uses only 3 files now, and it has all the systems that I have on PlayBox version 2. So you just select your region, and I'm gonna go in and show you. So we have the region script with PlayBox, and we have the region with Kodi. So you can select the US, the EU, and all systems with PlayBox, or the default one of which I want to have enabled is the all systems with Kodi, because most of the themes support Kodi, and I'm not going to include my new custom versions of the two play themes in here, not yet. So then you can go and select your US or EU or the all if you want all everything, but the all I suggest don't use that as it will use it will display the Genesis, the Mega Drive, the Sega CD, Mega CD, the TurboGrafx, PC Engine, Video Pack, Odyssey. It will be all displayed. So if you want, depending on your version, just select the US or the EU and you can see what system will be included from option 1 and 2. So US has the Genesis, Sega CD, TurboGrafx 16, TurboGrafx CD and Odyssey 2, and the EU, Japan, has the Mega Drive, Mega CD, PC Engine CD and Video Pack. So we're gonna go, actually I'm gonna do that for you. No, I'm gonna leave it on. I already have enabled the all Kodi, so then you can go and select your option 4 or 5 that you wish. Now we have the repair BGM emulator mute config files in case you messed up or you need something after you enable your BGM. I have the latest file that mutes all the things required when you start an emulator and you're going to play a ROM, so you can mute the background music. Now we have the original slideshow image set. I don't know if I have included this set in here. I have. We'll see when I go back to the ES. Now we go to reset all controllers again. We have that here. We have the top CLI commands, and I'm going to show you. We have about 5-6 main commands in here. We have, you can fix and reset, clean your JIT options of the RetroPie setup in case something got messed up, if you get any errors and you cannot update. So you can, this gets everything fresh. So we have the force. What is new now? We have the force file system recheck at next boot. So if you think you have some corruption or you want to check your file system at the next boot, you can run this option number 8. So it will just not mount the root afresh, we'll check it, and then once finished it will reboot and mount normally and boot back to your ES. What is new and not on any toolkit that I released so far to anyone is number 9 and number 10 options, which is now you don't have to do it manually, you can do it automatically. If you have a 4K TV and you have see the some emulators being slowed down because of your 4K TV, you can force 1080p throughout the whole system. That means the splash screen and the ES, everything will be forced to use 1080p because you can have 1080p at booting on the screen, but when you go in and RetroPie will use your TV's native automatically detected and use your 4K, and some of the system will have problem as reported from some users. So we're gonna have this fixed by this, and then if you don't want, as my friend Rick Dangerous, he's using an AV receiver and he's forcing 4K pass through from there, from his receiver. He doesn't have any problem. So basically, if you want to disable, you can go here and disable it as is. So I have it by default disabled. So we have the Skyscraper, you can run it from here or you can run it from RetroPie setup. Now we have the new thing that I released a couple weeks ago, is the script that controls the OMX player volume control script. And basically you can set different volume settings to your, you can see we have 75%, 70%, 60%, 50, 25, 100, which is the full, and mute. I suggest you use the 75-70, which usually matches the background music at level of 85% in the ES. Everything else below that, let's say 60, it will be kind of low and you might complain it's too low. This controls the volume of the splash screens, because as you notice, the OMX player for video used for video playback screens, splash screens, it's quite loud and it can be very loud when your system boots. So now we have the old clean old save high dot files that when you play games it creates this. So you can, if you want to delete all this, you can delete it from here. Now we have this is the files being created when you have not set the RPC single save folder. So that means, like, you know, when you run a ROM, it will create a save file, a hide data and all these things within the ROMs. So if you want to have a nice clean ROM folder, you can run this and it will clean it up for you. Now we have the clean up favorites and more, what used to be in version 1. We have the ES auto game list cleanup again since version 1. We have the file system cache cleanup. You can clean up your file system cache after you've done updates and stuff like that. The show partition and space info, the system free memory info, the show OS over version and info. Let's run it so you can see. It says we have the PlayBox 4.19.97 kernel, ARM version 71, a Raspbian Buster 10. So we press OK, we'll go back, and now we have the desktop Raspbian desktop. You can run it from here. We have the system update. We'll just first we'll do an update of your system, then it will do a distro upgrade, so it will upgrade your whole OS and the whole distro of Raspbian. It will then clean up and auto remove any unwanted things, packages. So we have the system full info that it will just give you this page that you see usually when you SSH with PuTTY to PlayBox, and you have all this information about the temperature, system info and stuff like that. Now we have the system shut down and reboot. I changed the order, so basically if someone wants to quickly reboot and it's in the CLI, you can scroll all the way down and you can just reboot from here. So we're gonna go back, exit. So there we are. So this is the new PlayBox toolkit. I explained to you all the new features on the RetroPie. So we're gonna go back and I'm gonna press F4, and this is the info screen that I was talking about. As I said, the one from Toolkit and the one from RetroPie menu will just give you an extra where it says my local IP. You're actually going to have your local IP and your external IP in case you're wondering if you have internet, so you know if you got an external IP and you can see your external IP. So you have the temperature, you have the Celsius, and you have the Fahrenheit for the CPU and GPU. That's the new temperature script that I integrated in there. So again, thank you for your watching, guys. Sorry for the a little bit longer video, but I wanted you to know the exact info existing here, what I updated, what I included, and what is my work on this base. I know where I want you to know where you find these things. So thank you again for watching. Bye bye.